Louis Riddick joins us now, and you know, Chris Fowler spends his Saturday nights in college football stadiums. You've done that plenty yourself. He said it's like an SEC stadium on Saturday night. You get Bills Mafia on a night where they're ready to party, and they had every reason to. Just before we get football, X's and O's, give me a sense of your appreciation of the vibe in that place tonight.
Look, I started experiencing it as a young kid back in the 80s coming up here when my brother played here, and it's just amplified times 1,000 now. I mean, this is how this place is. You're right. It is like a college atmosphere, from all the tailgating as you come in here to the fans arriving early, and then the way they just enjoy the football itself. The better the Bills play, the louder they get. The louder they get, the better the Bills play. And it's just an avalanche, Scott. It's an avalanche for the opposition. If you cannot do something to neutralize this football team, this crowd will take you out of it.
But this is a night, Louis, where if you're playing video games on rookie settings, this is what you're going to do. And I don't mean to be disrespectful to Jacksonville, because I think it's just basically Allen and Buffalo at their ceiling. You talk to the coaches and players leading into a game like this. I have to believe that this looks like the best version of what they could hope to be. Is that a sense that you have as you watch them play?
No question about it. And I think it's because this football team, one, knows who they want to be. Sean McDermott has been searching for this kind of formula for a while now, and I think now he's hit it. And they're not even at full strength, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But they are dominant up front on the line of scrimmage. They have the best offensive line in football. They have three backs that can absolutely bludgeon you and catch the ball out of the backfield, as you saw tonight. They have tight ends that will block and can get open. They have wide receivers that will block and can get open. And they've got a quarterback that can take advantage and maximize it all, and it's all led by Coach Brady. So it's just really all working. On the defensive side, they have a defensive line that can stop the run internally. If they get you in third down, they've got guys who can come off the edge between A.J. Epinesa or Greg Rousseau. Von Miller's not even a starter. Yeah. And he's one of the great pass rushers of all time in this league. And he's coming off the bench. He's like Mariano Rivera. I'll close this game out for you. And then in the back end, look at all the 6th, 7th round free agent guys that look like first rounders. They're in the sweet spot right now. And they are going to spell trouble for this league if they can keep everybody healthy and keep ascending.
Jacksonville, on the other hand, Louis, they spoke of urgency. They hoped to put an end to whatever was troubling them coming in. Instead, they're on the wrong end of this avalanche, and they're now 0-3. And I don't care. The money's the money. I mean, quarterbacks all get paid a ton of money. So take that out of the equation. I just want to know how this football team, in late September, is able to dig their heels in and stop what this is, because this is a mess right now. What do they do?
Yeah, this is their moment of truth. It was the moment of truth before this game. But now you know what you need? You need the football character to come to the top, to rise to the top. The football character in their best players. This is something that's held true ever since football's been being played. Your best players have to exhibit the most amount of character right now to say, we've had enough. Talent, I don't think, is the problem on this football team. They have some deficiencies that they're going to have to address in the offseason. But they have too many good players who are not able to lock in for 3 hours, 3.5 hours, and even out their performances to where they don't have embarrassing moments like this. Because it's not really a talent issue. It really is a mental issue, that fortitude to be able to say, look, I'm going to do exactly what the coaches do, rather what the coaches tell us, pre-snap, post-snap, in between plays, communication, down after down after down. And we've talked to their players about that, about how do they go about achieving that. And see, everybody talks about consistency. Well, this team just needs to be more consistent. This guy needs to be more consistent. It's easier said than done. I don't care if you're talking about sports or anything else. How can you lock in, eliminate the clutter, and focus on the task at hand? This team has not been able to do it. And they are searching. And the best players are going to have to lead them out of it. And it's going to start with the quarterback.
I want to close with this, Louis. We're all from somewhere. And you wore that Pitt uniform. I know your affinity for that university. I know what that place means to you. I know what the people that wore that uniform mean to you as well. So did Damar Hamlin. And there was a Monday night in Cincinnati none of us will ever forget. A young man nearly lost his life. The comeback is complete in a sense. Not that it's over, but he's back playing. He gets a pick tonight on a Monday night, on a night where Joe and Troy are in Cincinnati again. It's just, I said when I threw it back to them, it's a goosebumps moment. You're there in that place. You watch this young man have that moment. As best as you can put it in human terms, what did it mean to you?
Look, Damar Hamlin is an inspiration to us all. The journey that he's been on, Scott, is something that really would have caused or could have caused many people to really like have issues that really would prevent them from ever doing the kind of things or attempting to do the kind of thing that he has done, which is to return to the game that almost cost him, ultimately cost him his life.
Yep.
And that journey has been something that every step of the way he has had to face, and he's had a tremendous amount of support behind him, starting with his family, the support of this organization, the support of his teammates, but most importantly, coming to grips in his own mind with what happened and then whether or not he can go ahead and then continue onward to play this game that he loves. And he told us, he said, you know what? I believe that the training staff has my back. I can play free now. I've come to grips with what has happened, and I'm still working through it. It's going to be a continuing process. But he is an inspiration in every sense of the word, man, when it comes to resilience and fortitude and taking it step by step and focusing on a process that will lead you back to where you want to get to. And I'm telling you, it couldn't have happened in terms of the success that he has had in that interception tonight to a better young man. The University of Pittsburgh and all of its alumni, I'm sure there was a lot of non-dry eyes throughout the country, throughout Pitt land, when they watched this young man, considering what he has been through. It's amazing.
I'll give you both a hail to Pitt on the way out, man. That's the good stuff. You guys, I know, are so proud of his journey, which continues, and it continues tonight as Buffalo rolls. I appreciate you, Lewis. I look forward to seeing you soon.
Of course, man. Thanks.
Josh Allen and the Bills roll tonight. He now passes the great Jim Kelly in terms of games with 4 touchdown passes. That Jim Kelly-led Bills team, they didn't win a Super Bowl, no, but my goodness, were they great for a long period of time. Josh Allen now up to 11, and if they didn't call off the Dogs, who knows how many it could have been. Trevor Lawrence has now lost 8 consecutive starts dating back to last season. He injured his ankle in a Monday night game against Cincinnati. We were there. He tried to play through it as best he could. They couldn't get any wins to end last season, as we know, other than a game started by Beathard. This is tied for the longest streak to begin a career. And over the last decade, he's the only former number 1 to have multiple 8-start losing streaks. I'm going to get to Allen in a moment, who was just spectacular.
My goodness.
I expected more out of Jacksonville tonight. I expected to see more competitive fight. At one point, they had 1 yard and Buffalo had 2 touchdowns. You just don't see that in NFL football. It happens in college a lot because the talent disparity is so big. What accounts for this in your estimation?
I actually don't understand it.
Right?
If you're a team in the Jacksonville Jaguars that understands your back is against the wall, you're facing 0-3 to start the season, and you show little to no effort at the start of this game. Josh Allen's doing whatever he wants to you. You're not protecting Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is not dialed in with his wide receivers. And from a coaching standpoint, this team looks flat out unprepared. Doug Peterson is a coach that I respect tremendously, a coach that's won a Super Bowl, that's really changed what the Jacksonville Jaguars were after Urban Meyer. But tonight is unacceptable. Tonight is a night that costs people their jobs, both on the field and on the sidelines.
I mean, I'll follow that. Is this the kind of night that leads you to believe, just 3 weeks into a season, that this is a team that's done?
You know, I don't want to believe that, Scott, right? Like, I don't want to tell that story about this game and this league I love so much. But when you look at the Trevor Lawrence-led Jacksonville Jaguars right now, they're cheating the game, right? They're taking away what makes this game so fun for everybody, is that every team has a chance because every team has pros, right? There's so much parity in this league. Oh, there's a salary cap. We should all be able to compete. We just gave our guy $275 million.
There's that.
We're supposed to win. And a team scores 5 consecutive touchdowns against you. And like you said, at one point, they had 1 yard to 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
And to go on that field and just lay an egg like that in such an important moment is something that I don't know how Doug Peterson is even going to approach Wednesday morning in meetings.
Yeah, because this is a game where you're already 0-2.
Right.
Like, you're expecting your very best, and you get instead the worst. Now, a lot of that has to do with the fact that there's 2 teams out there getting paid tonight, and the one in blue had Josh Allen, and this looks like the ceiling to me. And if he plays to this ceiling, then you're talking about they could be who knows what. What'd you see from him?
The ceiling was the roof.
There you
know
go.
what I'm saying? He was standing.
Shout to the GOAT.
Hey, he was standing on top of it. Josh Allen was absolutely phenomenal tonight, and I think it's difficult to call a performance perfect but this was absolutely flawless from Buffalo's quarterback. The way he moved and maneuvered in the pocket, the sort of synergy and connection he had with his wide receivers and his targets, but also he took the smart play, Scott. It wasn't that Josh Allen was forcing the football tonight. He was throwing to the open receiver. He was dictated to the defense where the football was going to go and putting it in exactly the right spot. And the other thing I saw, like, they had fun. Right? When you think of Buffalo and when it's the best, it's when those fans can absolutely lose their mind on every snap. It's when their quarterback is showing a reckless abandon and even inside the chaos, having a poise. This was the best that Josh Allen gets, and if he plays like this team is going to be difficult to beat.
And it appeared that when the Brady calls were exactly right, it was easy.
Yeah.
And then in those moments, and I'm thinking of that third down, second touchdown to Kincaid, in the moment where, all right, the first thing's not there, the second thing's not there, then he's just Josh Allen, and for a brief moment puts the cape on and makes a play that not many dudes in the league make. So to me, it's the perfect combination of you get the Superman guy, and then I'm just calling the play that Brady dialed up, and it's wide open.
But then we talk about that before the game, though.
Yes.
It's like not having to wear the cape all the time. Like, at some point of the day, you get to be Clark Kent and take pictures of Lois Lane while she's out here trying to report, right? And so he got to do that last week against the Dolphins. And even this week, they weren't asking him to go above and beyond the X's and O's. But when it was time, and when it is time, you know he's capable. If they can continue this formula that allows Josh Allen to pick his spots, I think this is a place where, with Sean McDermott and the way that defense is playing, the way that front has had a resurgence with Von Miller, this is going to be the team again in the AFC East that's the team to beat.
Well, and I'm sure Kansas City's like, okay, well, we can do that again if that's what y'all need us to do.
Hey, but you know what, like you said earlier, you ain't got to win them all. You just got to win one.